Now, you asked me, do you think the British people are getting ready to sign up to that?
No, I think Theresa May's deal...
That's why 80% of the British people oppose this.
No, I agree.
Anti-trade or even anti-globalization. It's because they feel that trade has become less fair than it should.
Did you know that Peter Mandelson is the first political appointee to the role of UK ambassador to the US since 1977? That's right. It's been over 45 years since a politician, not a career diplomat, held this crucial position. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great! Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. But why now? And why Mandelson, a man who once described Trump as little short of a white nationalist and racist? As we unravel this political puzzle, you'll discover the high-stakes game being played on the international stage. Picture this. It's a July evening on BBC's Newsnight, and Lord Peter Mandelson is facing the camera with an air of absolute certainty. When asked about the swirling rumors of his potential appointment as UK ambassador to the US, Mandelson's response is unequivocal. No, 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 he declares, his body language as firm as his words. Everyone who knows me knows I'm heading towards Wiltshire, not Washington. But here's where things get interesting. Despite Mandelson's emphatic denial,
parties have lost so much electoral support. Why have so many people turned away?
Successfully anchored all of the post-Soviet states and the post-dictatorship states of Spain, of Greece and Portugal.
Speculation about his appointment continued to circulate. Why? Well, in the world of politics, things aren't always as they seem. Mandelson, after all, isn't just any politician. He's earned the nickname Prince of Darkness for a reason. Known for his behind-the-scenes maneuver influence within the Labour Party, Mandelson has a reputation as a skilled political operator. But why would Mandelson, a seasoned political player, engage in such a charade? The answer might lie in the complex dance of international diplomacy. The role of UK ambassador to the US is no small feat, especially given the current political climate. Mandelson's past criticisms of Trump, including describing him as little short of a white nationalist and racist, add another layer of complexity to the situation. Fast forward just 4 months from that Newsnight interview, and we're hit with a bombshell announcement. Despite his vehement denial, Peter Mandelson is indeed appointed as the UK's ambassador to the US. The contrast between his words and actions creates a dramatic irony that leaves many scratching their heads. This unexpected turn of events raises crucial questions about the future of UK-US relations.
We don't become the city of culture, but my God, would it make it all the more worthwhile, and wouldn't it help us to market the city and bring about the economic transformation?
That many people in Whitehall believe that you hate the European Union so much that you won't bat for Britain by turning up at the meetings in Brussels.
How will Mandelson navigate his new role given his past statements? What does this appointment say about Prime Minister Keir Starmer's approach to diplomacy? And perhaps most importantly, how will this impact the delicate balance of power between the two nations? As we delve deeper into Mandelson's controversial past and his potential challenges in this new role, one thing becomes clear. The game of international diplomacy is about to get a whole lot more interesting. If Mandelson's appointment raised eyebrows, his past statements about Trump and China might just raise diplomatic hell. As we peel back the layers of his political history, a startling question arises. Could Mandelson's controversial views actually derail UK-US relations before he even steps foot in the embassy? Peter Mandelson's political career has been anything but smooth sailing. He's resigned from cabinet positions not once, but twice. The first time, he failed to declare a bank loan from a Labour millionaire. The second, allegations of intervening in a passport application for a businessman. These scandals paint a picture of a man who's no stranger to controversy. But it's not just his past that's causing concern.
Talked about the European Union, the EU, as some autonomous, independent organisation, totally separate from us, making this law and then imposing it.
No, I'll do this for you, you do this for me. As long as you cover this off, I'll happily go along with it. So he was a negotiator.
Mandelson's strong anti-Brexit stance puts him at odds with a significant portion of the British public. He's been a vocal advocate for a second referendum, pushing to overturn the Brexit decision. This position alone could complicate his role as a bridge between the UK and the US. Then there's the China factor. While Donald Trump has been beating the drum of his America First policies and taking a hard line on China, Mandelson has been singing a different tune. He's called for closer economic dialogue with China, criticizing the Trump administration's approach to Beijing. It's like watching two trains headed for a collision, with Mandelson caught in the middle. Mandelson's past criticisms of Trump add fuel to this diplomatic fire. In a 2018 article, he described Trump as a bully and a mercantilist who thinks the US will gain in trade only when others are losing. It's not exactly the kind of statement that builds warm and fuzzy feelings between diplomats. So, what does this mean for UK-US relations? Dan Mullaney, a former assistant US trade representative, offers a glimmer of hope. He suggests that Mandelson's understanding of both EU and US trade systems could actually be beneficial. Mandelson might serve as a useful intermediary in trade discussions, potentially smoothing over some of the rough patches. But the challenges are undeniable. Mandelson will need to perform a delicate balancing act, managing the UK's interests with both the US and China.
It was okay. It wasn't didn't make the impact that we first feared. He takes advice. You know, he's quite a cautious person.
The only way to bring any sort of legitimate, democratic, sort of final endorsement to this thing is if the people themselves have a vote.
This tightrope walk becomes even more precarious given Trump's hardline stance on China. Surprisingly, Mandelson has found an unlikely supporter in Reform UK leader Nigel Farage. Despite their past differences, Farage described Mandelson as an intelligent figure who knows his brief well. This unexpected endorsement hints at the complexity of the situation Mandelson is stepping into. As we consider the broader implications for international diplomacy, one thing is clear. Mandelson's appointment is far from business as usual. It's a bold move that could reshape UK-US relations in ways we can't yet predict. Will his controversial past and outspoken views be a liability or an asset? Only time will tell. As we wrap up this roller coaster ride through Peter Mandelson's controversial appointment, it's clear we're in for an interesting diplomatic journey. Mandelson's baggage, from his anti-Brexit stance to his China-friendly views, presents a unique set of challenges. Yet, his deep understanding of both UK and US political systems could prove invaluable in navigating the choppy waters of international relations.
But where there are things that we need to pursue and legislation that we need to introduce on an EU-wide basis, then we are part of that system.
Politician, I'm afraid, and a minister, you have to be a little bit more practical and a little bit more serious.
But questions linger. How will Mandelson's past criticisms of Trump impact his effectiveness? Can he bridge the widening gap between UK and US interests, especially when it comes to China? And perhaps, most crucially, what does this unconventional appointment say about the future of UK-US relations? In a world where political norms are constantly being rewritten, Mandelson's appointment serves as a stark reminder of the unpredictable nature of modern diplomacy. As we watch this political drama unfold, one thing is certain: the international stage is set for a performance that could redefine the special relationship between the UK and the US.